Yeah, hello, I am Ryan Nolan. I'm just starting my second full year here at Salish Kootenai College, and I have to say that the educational program here is well worth the effort. I've had many opportunities in my life to develop an educational philosophy, but on a slightly different level. I've developed one as a coach. I have been actively instructing students in football, wrestling, and baseball for the last 5 years, and have been giving lessons in calf roping, team roping, and wrestling for the last 20. Not to mention, I've been giving dancing lessons for the last 26 years. These experiences have helped me to learn what to do as a teacher, but now I have a much better understanding of what I will be doing as a teacher and why. I have 4 basic categories that I feel are important to me as a teacher in my educational philosophy: communication, lessons, motivation, and compassion. First of all, is communication. In the book Beyond the Bake Sale, 2007, Henderson, Mapp, Johnson, and Davies summarized that students whose families are actively involved earn better grades, enroll in higher level programs, have higher graduation rates, have a more positive outlook towards schools, and are less likely to drop out. On the flip side of that, they are more likely to enroll in post-secondary education. I know that the more relationships I can build with parents and community members, the better off my students' educational experience will be. I've seen the benefits of this firsthand. The last couple of years, the coaching staff and myself for the high school football team we coach, we've worked really hard to actively involve parents and community members in activities. You know, we host a preseason scrimmage involving the football, volleyball, and cross-country programs. We call it Red and White Fight Night. You know, there's a barbecue involved. They get the cross-country runs a time trial. Volleyball has a scrimmage. Football has a scrimmage. Everybody pitches in, and it's kind of a community effort. You know, football-wise, we do a Thursday night dinner, and it involves parents as well as community members getting together to cook a meal that, you know, one, we make sure the students have a good meal the night before a game, and 2, they get to establish and build on these relationships that have been established. It's nice to get together and share our thoughts, and as well as concerns and ideas moving forward. Another important part of this communication process is a combination of verbal and non-verbal communication, and that is how a teacher conducts themselves. You know, children absorb materials by observation, and they definitely imitate observed behaviors. Any person who's ever worked with children on any level can tell you this. I'm a firm believer that a teacher must let their actions speak louder than their words and uphold themselves to a higher standard so as to set this good example for the students. I have witnessed coaches who do not share this sentiment, and I have noticed the devastation that seeps through their team. You know, it basically just self-destructs the program. I've also been informed from parents and friends of parents that the manner in which I conduct myself around the teams I coach has had a positive and lasting impression on those student athletes. Leading by example is a crucial element to my educational philosophy. You know, that being said, I place a large importance on how these lessons are taught. I am a firm believer in Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence, and for me it's still a work in progress that I do use now, that I intend to continue to develop as I move forward into my teaching career. You know, creating lessons that appeal to the learning style of each student. It'll improve the student interaction as well as the overall class understanding. Nobody wants to be forced into doing things, myself included, and I believe that encouraging these 8 traits will foster a stronger sense of desire and accomplishment amongst the students. Reaching out to all types of learners on all levels of learning capabilities is the backbone to my teaching style and belief. I would be remiss, though, if I did not mention that I believe the multiple intelligence approach would not be complete without social interaction amongst peers. You know, I do prefer the social constructionist approach of allowing and encouraging students to construct knowledge while working with other students. We've all been a part of classes here at college that allow us to interact with our peers while discovering and discussing new ideas. And this system allows for all involved to create bonds and establish socially acceptable behavior while learning. This system will also help to encourage student-driven learning, which I feel is much better and more important than instructor-driven learning. But to do this, I know there needs to be guidelines established. Defining classroom rules and procedures is important to me. I believe this is where a teacher establishes themselves as firm but fair. Rules should set the standard, but the teacher should work to keep the atmosphere friendly and inviting. I believe in rewards for exceptional work and/or behaviors, as well as discouraging negative and destructive behaviors. I use this theory and ideas to manage my sport teams, and it works well. I encourage a free flow of discussion and ideas. When a student steps out of line, though, that I take that opportunity to communicate to both them and their parents, what has been done, why it's not acceptable, what is acceptable, and make sure we have a collaborative effort and plan to move forward together in the future, and not separate. That being said, I do believe that every child needs validation for the good things they do. All too often, students receive poor grades in a particular assignment or an exam, and that can be negative to their educational opportunities. Motivation comes in many forms. I myself am more a proponent of positive reinforcement. I've never known a person who did not want to be recognized for their strong points. And I believe that I can encourage positive attributes in students with recognition. Not every student will strive for that gold star in spelling, but they may work hard for an award that they earn for being clean and organized, or for being a classroom leader, or even for their individual accomplishments on projects that pertain to their own individual learning styles. As a young student, I had teachers who only recognized students who conformed to the style they wanted. And I've never forgotten that feeling of inadequacy because I could not appease that particular teacher. I will never be that person. I want every child to feel proud of what they can do and what they have accomplished, because I believe this will motivate them more towards achieving academic success than striving to have the perfect score on a quiz. Motivation of my students is important to me, but out of all of these beliefs, there is a prerequisite for them to be accomplished, and that is me showing the students my compassion for them. As a coach and a teacher, I've had the opportunity to mold and guide not only in the academic part of things, but as future adults as well. Students spend approximately 8 hours a day with teachers for about 9 months out of the year, 4 to 5 days a week. That's about half the time that they're awake every day that they're in school. That's a lot of time. What I say, what I do and teach and model is important to developing these students. One of the main reasons I'm going into this professional field is because I believe there's a need for positive role models. And in particular, male role models for students in cultural areas I want to teach in. Some of these areas right now have lots of good, positive female role models, but there's very, very few male role models. And I think that having both is important to both male and female students. With all of these things considered, I still believe teachers are the largest contributing role models that influence our children. Teaching is my passion. It's what I want to do. It's my goals to become as best of a teacher as I can be. And I firmly believe in a quote of Abraham Lincoln. I've had it inside my wallet, written down on a card for quite a while now, and that is, teach the children so that it will not be necessary to teach the adults. If we make it a priority to educate our children right now to the best of our abilities, then I believe we are ensuring a more promising and prosperous future for all of our race. And to me, it's the human race. I would like to thank every student and our instructor in this course for all the positive and constructive feedbacks that have been posted on Moodle. I know we haven't had a lot of face time to interact, but it made this class well worthwhile working with such professional students and professors as well. Thank you all. I hope your future endeavors, as you get closer and closer to earning your degrees, I hope they all go just perfectly for you. Have a wonderful day.